Hey guys, hope everyone's doing all right out there. I know I maybe a little late to the game, but I'm not late to the game actually, but I made a video a couple weeks ago about Luigi Mangione, and it got taken off. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful about what I'm saying here. But what I really wanted to talk about today is what Luigi Mangione really represents symbolically, in the context of what the response has been from the general public, okay? Because, we all know he killed Brian Thompson, who is the CEO of United Healthcare. When you look at United Healthcare, they have even by industry standards, they have a very high rate of denying claims. By market cap, I think they're one of the biggest companies in the stock market. So, we're talking about a major corporation here. I don't know what their annual revenues are or their annual profit is, but they're one of the biggest companies in America, right? And I know there's been varying reports about why he did what he did. Was it because I know he had a back surgery, and maybe the back surgery didn't end up well? But when we look at the manifesto, which is becoming harder and harder to find on the internet, we learned that this is a man that had deep conviction about the unfairness and the injustices that the healthcare companies get away with, really with impunity, largely because of our political system, which is, a capitalist wet dream, where any corporation, through campaign contributions, can alter the course of our political arena, right? And that was happening there. But the public, by and large, is in support of what this guy did, even though it's pretty clear to most people that he murdered this guy. He got caught. I mean, he has the evidence is overwhelming against him, but of course, what the establishment is worried about is jury nullification. And what jury nullification is when a jury hears the prosecutor and the evidence against the defendant, but accepts the evidence, but rejects laying down a verdict which would find him guilty of the crime he's being charged with, because of a deep conviction of moral sentiment, basically agreeing with the defendant of what he did. And that just goes to show you that, look, this is what it goes to show you, is that now, even when most people believe that Luigi Mangione is guilty of murder, but yet they're still in support of what he did. So, one of the most heinous crimes that one could be committed for, I mean, I think really the only crimes I could think of that are worse are rape or molestation, or something like that, sexual human trafficking. I mean, there's worse things out there, but murder's right up there. Murder's right up there with one of the worst. And he's being lauded as this, folk hero. And I find it fascinating that, that people are coming to this young man's defense. Now, I'm not going to give my opinions on it, although I'm sure that my viewers who follow my content you can pretty much guess where I stand on this. But I think it's refreshing that in tall telling of that, people are sick and fucking tired of the corporate greed, of the amount of influence that they have over our politicians, which are just nothing more than mouthpieces for them. And people are even willing to support murder if it means that in their minds justice was served, although vigilante style. And again, I'm just saying, this is what the public sentiment is. This is what the public sentiment is telling us of where people's mindsets are today, in regards to something like this, you know. So it's a crazy world, but you know, hopefully what this does is it strikes some fear in other CEOs that if they do things to screw people over, even though the law's on their side, that there may be someone out there who's willing to do the unthinkable. I mean, it's kind of like a bully. You know, a bully is going to just keep on bullying you and keep on taking your lunch money until somebody stands up to him. The problem is no one ever does until one does. And that's essentially what's happening here. These corporations, through their money and through their basically commandeering of our politicians, are getting legislation enacted that benefits them at the expense of the people. And people are fighting back. And when you push people to the point where they see no other option, they're going to act. So, and we already have an example of this actually having some change, because not only is this conversation being promulgated on the mainstream media, but what it's also done is it has also forced, I know that Cigna Healthcare was considering lowering the amount of anesthesia that they would cover for surgeries, even though doctors have said, hey, you know, you can't do this, you can't have people waking up in the middle of a surgery. Obviously this is a way to save money. And what they did is a couple days after Brian Thompson got killed, the CEO decided not to do it.